Lev Parnas, former Trump and Giuliani fixer, joins myself. I'm in Canada. He's in parts unknown, somewhere in the deep south. We welcome everybody. We'll take a minute and have everybody come in. Hi, Ellie. Great to see you. So happy you're here. Dawn, hi, folks, she says. Shoshana, hi, guys. Hi, Shoshana. Nice to see you. Lori Pearl, OPR. Nice to see you, too. How about Christiane? And then World. He's like, Lev, everybody. Gloria, Karma. Hi, everybody. Come on in. The water's fine. We're going to dip both toes in today. We got a couple things to get to. I don't know if anybody witnessed the disparity between Mark Carney's World Economic Forum speech in Davos yesterday that brought everybody to their fucking feet. It was a standing ovation. Only three people in the history of the WEF have gotten a standing O. Nelson Mandela, Zelensky, and now Mark Carney. What we witnessed today was the fucking opposite of that by a dementia patient, someone who is so unwell. 25th Amendment conversations. We're going to get to that. We'll break down the threats to Mark Carney because, yes, he threatened him today in Canada. Yeah. He also said he's not going to use force in Greenland. If you believe him, I've got a sheet of ice for you to buy, known as Iceland. He can't fucking get any of those things straight. And he weaved all day long in what I think Lev might have been the most embarrassing, shameful moment in American diplomatic history. I mean,
which one of it was? It was just. I know we're laughing, and it was something seriously embarrassing, especially to our country. I mean, to all of us, and but we need a little bit of laughter because this was I think will go down in history as the major stand-up comedian act. Like it'll go Saturday Night Live has nothing in this. This will be clips, and I can't wait till 2020. I can't even. Hopefully we have the elections and we're able to do it. But it was just look.
It was insanity.
If it wasn't as insane, it would be. It was really dangerous too, folks. And we're going to talk about because there's while this insanity was going on, some of it was, yes, off the rockers. Some of it was completely Donald Trump deteriorating in front of our eyes. But some of it was planned. Some of it was intentional. Some of that insanity is perplexed. And that's why I wanted to speak to all of you. And I'm glad we're doing this, Dean. Because I know you're planning this trip to
Greenland. Yeah, on a weekend.
I thought it was Iceland. It was Greenland? Iceland?
No, we land in Iceland and then we go to Greenland. It's hard to get to Greenland, by the way.
I'm joking.
Oh, you're doing Trump. You're doing a whole Trump Davos thing. Yeah, he's like, we need Iceland. We got to have Iceland. Everybody, it's and he's like, and then someone's like, it's Greenland. It's Greenland.
I know you guys. You guys are going to Greenland. I was just trying to slip that little.
Well, we are going to Iceland, too, so we got both covered, no matter how confused the president is. And we'll get to the shame and the embarrassment. The whole thing, we'll break it down in just a second. But I do have to say something before we get started. If anybody doesn't follow Lev at Lev Remembers, you have to. He just just continues to follow up on the idea that Michael Cohen's a fraud. And Michael Cohen's circle of Substack friends and content providers shrinks by the day. You put out, I don't know what you call this, maybe a definitive post on Michael Cohen. I want to read it to everybody. You also included a clip from CNN. And I'll get to the clip in just a second. You said, listen carefully. This is Michael Cohen in his own voice, like all the fucking roosters are come home. Not the rebranded version, the cable news regular, not the guy suddenly asking for trust. This is Michael Cohen doing what he was paid to do. Fix, intimidate, silence, make problems disappear for Donald Trump. People seem to forget that Michael Cohen didn't just work for Trump. He was the enforcer, the cleanup crew, the man who went to extreme lengths to shut people up when they threatened the brand, the image, the power. Now listen to the audio and have yourself ask one simple question. How is if this is how he operated when he thought he was untouchable, what do you think he'll do in cases involving underage Jane Doe? What pressure was applied? What threats were implied? What lines were crossed? This is not speculation. This is a pattern recognition. And that's why Michael Cohen must testify under oath in front of Congress, Ro Khanna, not on podcasts, not through selective leaks, not through carefully scripted redemption arcs, because survivors don't need spin. They need accountability. They need the full truth. They need justice. Katie Johnson will get justice but only if we stop pretending we don't recognize the voice we're hearing. So don't listen to the commentary. Don't listen to the excuses. Listen to his own words. This is who Michael Cohen is, who he was when the mask was off, and history matters, especially now. Enough is enough. I have to thank you for that post. And I think there are a lot of people that need to thank you for that post, because what a lot of people don't understand is behind the scenes, this gentleman in front of you, this authentic individual, Lev Parnas, and he's authentic as it gets, has effectively left behind the comfort of old relationships so he can advocate for victims, so he can advocate for the truth. And what you're talking to here is in this post that you put on Substack, which was absolutely moving. I thought it was incredible. What you're talking about here is this was always who Michael Cohen is, right? This is who he is.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Thank you, Dean. And it was when I was writing that post, I still have tears in my eyes because just thinking about how people like Michael Cohen, Donald Trump, and how all of this, what's happening right now, and hearing, I can't even imagine how the victims, I hear my son reporting, others reporting that the victims are writing letters to the judges and advocating, and you got Ro Khanna and Massey, and then watching people like Michael Cohen, people like Donald Trump, people like all these using that to be able to try somehow whitewash themselves to pretend, and again, if Michael Cohen was hiding somewhere in the desert and we found this letter right now, it's one thing. But the fact that Michael Cohen, till this day, folks, today he wrote out a letter. You know what his letter was about? I read his letters because I'm trying to see maybe there's going to be a moment where he all of a sudden says something somewhere. So, you know what his letter was about? That we should feel bad about how he was in prison. How he was in prison and how everybody attacked him, and what made him survive was the letters he received from all of you. The letters, the books, the letters he received. And he was so narcissistic that even towards the end, it was all about him. But even towards the end, he mentions Donald Trump, saying, I know Donald Trump very well. And Donald Trump, right, is, understands, and he keeps mentioning this book of three, that everybody does three crimes a day that he read while he was in prison, and that Donald Trump knows, and he goes again into Donald Trump. And then I read some of the comments, and and I was like, are people really like, what are they maybe in his cult? Because are we having these mini cults going around? Like, I mean, like, this is a guy that goes out there and talks about getting truth. I mean, this is what really ticks me off. When he goes out there and asks people to give him money to subscribe to him because he wants justice for the Epstein survivors, that he wants justice, he wants release the files. Do you remember for how long? This is what started it all. I mean, he would go on there every day and he would scream, release the file. He would say stupid things like, what should happen is they should give me the files. Let me and another redact them. I mean, I could be trusted. Nobody but me testified and some. I know his pitch to a T. I could tell you exactly 7 times he testified, 2 times in front of Congress, 2 times in front of the committee. I mean,
he's got it down pat.
It just gets to me. So I actually was going through some of my old stuff. And it's just, God works in a mysterious way. I say I believe in science. That's why my sister's so incredible, because she gives me, she keeps me focused with this positive energy stuff. So I was going through actually Substack, and there was somebody on Substack actually posted something like that. I didn't see it. I couldn't open it, but it reminded me. I said, oh my God, I have something. And I went into, I think, and I found that video I also had, because I couldn't open the video on Substack to be able to really see it, because somebody said, don't forget who Michael Cohen is or something, and put it on YouTube. And I said, you know what? That's extremely important, because I think a lot of people are not realizing who Michael Cohen is and how close he is to Donald Trump. And because of all the whitewash, that's the confusion that's happening inside our community, our family, that needs to stop. We need to get people like that support Michael Cohen or with Michael Cohen. Let them go to Twitter. Let them go to where all the Trump supporters are. What them doing there. Let them do their thing. But to come out here and cause this distraction, about trying to say he's a victim and all of these people are going after, that's bullshit. Because what we're trying to do here is unify a movement and unify something to be able to go save our democracy, to be able to go give justice to the victims on the survivors from the Epstein files, to be able to go shine a light on what's going on in Ukraine, in the Middle East, to Gaza, to people where these men right now, these oligarchies are turning the world into like basically a real monopoly game, folks. If you really think about it, this is one of the letters I'm writing later today. I already gave you a little, that right now, Trump, it's like you got Trump, Putin, you got Xi, you got, others sitting over there, Netanyahu, and they're playing Monopoly right now with the world. You'll take that land, I'll buy this land, I'll go take over this land.
Well, sharing these resources, your family can make money off of Nord Stream. I'm going to make money in the Louisiana purchase. Yeah, we're going to have a great time. Yeah.
So that's who Michael Cohen is. And you know what? Before we go forward, let's do a little special thing. Let me play this because a lot of you might have not have seen it. You might have just got here. You might have not seen the stuff. Let me play Michael Cohen so you all understand, and then we'll stop and we could then go into everything that's going on, because there's a lot going on also in behind the scenes in Davos, and we're going to talk about and break some news to you about what's going on in Minnesota. So we have a lot to discuss. But the Michael Cohen thing is extremely important because later today also, I don't know if you know, later today we have some specials, folks. So let me give you guys an outline. I'm glad you reminded me. I would have forgotten. So first of all, again, it's not about Michael Cohen. So I don't want to say Michael Cohen. It's about the Epstein Files and the survivors. Michael Cohen just happens to be in the files, just like Donald Trump. So he's one of the individuals that we are going to be discussing, just like Donald Trump and others that are in the Epstein Files. So later today, we have a special that we're doing with Tara Palmieri. And also we have Arik from the Bloom Group, the lawyer for the survivors. He's going to be joining. I will try to figure out either we're going to do me, Tara, and Arik, or me and Arik, and then me and Tara. Because people are traveling, but this is an important subject, so we're going to be focused today a lot on the Epstein survivors, what's going on. And
I'll tell you what, nobody knows more about the Epstein survivors. No one's campaigned with them, gone door to door with them, trying to figure out their past than Tara Palmieri. She is it. Yeah, she's incredible.
So Tara is traveling, and me and her are figuring out it's probably going to be around 4:00. So I will update you. So 4:00, figure out is going to be me, Arik Fadali from the Bloom Group, and Tara Palmieri. You don't want to miss that one. Then at 7:00, Zev Shalev is putting together a super special panel. Dean's going to be. You're going to join, right, Dean? You're going to be there tonight, right?
It's first time hearing about it, but if Zev's doing it, I'm doing it too. Sometimes I find out about my schedule here.
So I just want to tell you, I break the news even to Dean Blundell that he doesn't even know. You see how my
about my own life.
You like my sources? I know more about Dean Blundell than he does. So yeah, 7:00 we have a major special appointment together where we're gonna have Dean Blundell. It's gonna be me, maybe Wajahid Ali. It's gonna be maybe Tara Palmieri might join us. Maybe we'll also have Arik join us. We'll see. It's gonna be a special panel also to go into a deep dive, Epstein Files, some new stuff that's been coming up, and the incredible work that Ellie Leonard has been doing. And folks, I just want to also give a shout out to Ellie. She put out an incredible letter about Sasha Riley, and I want to make sure to say this, that it takes a lot of courage, folks, a lot of courage to speak truth to power, to be able to write something and say something that it's unpopular or might be something that people might not like. But truth is the truth. And that's why, Ellie, I want to tell you that I stand with you, because it took a lot of journalists are still sitting and waiting to write and are sitting saying the same thing you are. And you came out, you did it, you wrote the truth. You didn't write an opinion. You wrote the truth. And now people can make their own opinion about this situation. So, Ellie, I'm glad you're on my team. I'm glad you're on our team. And I just want to say to you, you are a rock star. I stand behind you, and you deserve to take a day off today. Sit back and take a deep breath, and maybe spend some time with the kids. You don't have to feel pressure coming up, answering any questions. But if you do want to come up now, later today, anytime, you have the platform because
Always
you are
welcome.
incredible. Always
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah.
So I just wanted
So
to give a shout out to
she's
Ellie.
getting heat from this
I'm
post that she
sure.
put up
I'm
called "My
sure.
Findings on Sasha Riley." And I want to tell everybody something about Ellie Leonard, in case anybody out there is going to accuse her of making things up. And keep in mind, I have not read this post yet.
I have not read it yet. She just
I
sent
can
it to
tell
me,
you
but
this:
yeah,
she's 100% fucking right.
yeah.
And
I'm
she's
with
on
her.
our
Yeah,
team, and
yeah.
we love her unconditionally. So if you have a problem with Ellie, come through me and Lev. We'll take care of that
Yeah,
first.
absolutely. So, Ellie, take the day off.
That's right.
We'll speak on your behalf. You know, and I could tell you this way: this piece, she didn't just write it. She spoke. She, spoke to a lot of people, a lot of incredible journalists in the background, got advice. I mean, she's incredible. The way she she handled it with fine gloves. Like, this is a very serious issue. This is not, and again, nobody is discouraging Sasha, right? Nobody's saying, and she's never saying that he did not get hurt or certain things did not happen to him. It's an unfortunate situation. It's a sad situation. But we have to be, keep our focus on. We have to, because, we need to save our democracy, folks. So I'm
Yeah.
just going to leave it at that. And then,
Good.
because I haven't read it either. So, but I stand with Ellie. Absolutely.
Either way, we'll
Well,
probably cover it tonight on this panel. I'm just finding out about. Very
I'm
excited.
sure. I'm sure. All right, guys.
All right.
Let me play this for you because I think this is extremely important.
Yeah,
Because
this
a
is
lot
the
of
audio
people,
that comes with the first Substack restack that you did, that we read off the top,
yeah.
advocating for the victims, telling everybody, reminding everybody that this is who Michael Cohen really is. And we'll lean into Trump and Davos in just a second. But go ahead and play the clip if you can.
This is the conversation.
Okay. Oh, sorry, guys.
That's okay.
That'll make it better. And I'm gonna do it. Okay, so here we go.
Voice on tape, making threats as it's been widely reported he would often do as the president's personal attorney. But let me give you some context. This was a recording from a July 2015 call between Cohen and Tim Mack, who was a Daily Beast reporter at the time, now currently with NPR. And Mack, who I spoke with today on the phone, said he recorded the conversation. He said the decision to release this audio today came after discussions in NPR's newsroom about Cohen's pattern of threats. Take a listen.
Wow.
What's that threat about? In 2015, Mack reached out to Cohen for comment on a story the Daily Beast was running about a rape accusation Ivana Trump made in divorce proceedings about Donald Trump. She later walked back this claim, and after the Daily Beast story.
So we're not going to go through the whole thing. You can watch. I just wanted you to hear. Basically, it had to do. You can't hear. It's hard to hear. I know you. I recommend you just go to my Substack.
Lev remembers.
And it's on there, and you'll hear it clearly. Because it's very hard to hear. So yeah, but it's set basically. Give you the background. This was a story that was being run when. Ivana Trump said that Donald Trump raped her, and the reporter from the Daily Beast reached out to Michael Cohen, was trying to reach out, and you heard Michael. I mean, it's hard to hear.
To get a comment, yeah, it's a journalistic strategy, right? You got to get a comment, yeah.
Just think about, if you go think about, just like Tara Palmieri asked, or Zev Shalev asked Michael Cohen a question right now. The real Michael Cohen came out. In there, he's basically threatening, screaming, intimidating, and if you take a look at that, and then you play and watch the way he reacted, to Tara Palmieri, and the way he reacted to Zev Shalev,
Same guy.
Yeah. He did not change in any way. So again, the reason why I put that out there, and I want to make sure I'm not trying to destroy Michael Cohen because he has a family, he has a what. I don't care. Michael Cohen, to me, is irrelevant right now. To me, Michael Cohen did this to himself. The reason why I'm doing it is because I'm trying to put enough pressure so he testifies under oath. Because my main goal is to get Michael Cohen to testify under oath. He says he's been testifying all over the place.
In front of Congress?
In front of Congress, under oath, and the questioning about the letter that he wrote while he was in prison, while his attorneys asked, that he said, very well, black and white, I have
got dirt.
information, I have dirt on Trump and Epstein. What is that dirt? We need to hear that story under oath. And the other thing he needs to go under oath is to tell the story about Jane Doe. The story that he's made up about this Jane Doe, about this minor that he sent investigators to, that Zev Shalev and Tara Palmieri has pressed him on because there is no court case on this Jane Doe. There's no, and the timing and the story are very similar to Katie Johnson. So it doesn't matter if it was Katie Johnson or if it was another minor underage girl that was claiming to be raped by Donald Trump. That the fact that Michael Cohen sent investigators and searched and found, and then the fact that he said that it was a hoax and there was nothing there, that doesn't excuse what his actions of what he was doing. Just think about it. So a lot of that, I want that under oath. We deserve that under oath. Enough of this, coming out here, podcasts, debating, trying to deflect. We have an open investigation, folks. Congress, we have Epstein files being sent every day. Right now, we received their first up. And Michael Cohen's not the only one that should be subpoenaed right now. Michael Wolff should be subpoenaed right now. Michael Wolff is all over the Epstein files. Michael Wolff has come out on Wajid Ali and others, said that he has videos, pictures of that he has a check. So the fact that Michael Wolff, Michael Cohen, Dan Bongino should be subpoenaed. He's no longer working for the as a civil, working with the FBI. So there's other people like
Howard Lutnick. Let me fucking throw his name in the subpoena ring too.
Elon Musk, Peter Thiel. These are people that Steve Bannon, folks. Steve Bannon is all over the paperwork. What are we waiting for the dump? See, this is what I think, and that's why I want to speak to the lawyer today. And these are the things I'm raising the alarms, and that's why I'm going to reach out to Congressman Ro Khanna. He's very busy, but because I don't know what we're waiting for. We already have enough in the dump right now that we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Yeah, we should be putting pressure. We should be simultaneously putting pressure to release all the files. Absolutely. Continue doing whatever you're doing. Doesn't stop. But in the meantime, through the dump that we have received, through the incredible investigative journalism that have happened here on this Substack, on this platform, thanks to you guys, thanks to people like Ellie and Zev and subscribers out there, that you guys did the work that found this needle in a haystack. Think about it. It was a needle in a haystack. We found this letter. So now we have all of this information. We have Steve Bannon, we have Michael Wolff, we have Michael Cohen, you got Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, you got all of these people. Why are we not having a committee hearing in front of the whole world and asking them questions on their stuff, on all the stuff, all of these people?
Yeah,
how we're doing it.
Keep in mind, all of these people have painted themselves as heroes and darlings to other people to fight against the corruption, the transparency, to fight for victims. It's fucking rights. Where's Bill Barr? Where's his subpoena? Where's Michael Wolff's subpoena? Where is fucking? Where's the New York Times subpoena? Where's the Washington Post subpoena? What information do they have? They were leaking shit before everybody else. WAPO, dude, I'm telling you, you're 100% right. We have all the information we need from less than 1% of the Epstein files to fucking subpoena everybody.
And go to work simultaneously, because these people, just think about it, and a lot of these people are the key to open up all of it. Because this is what I want to make very clear. Lex Wexner, absolutely, 100%. But the list goes out, folks. There's a lot to name, so if we miss somebody, absolutely, you could throw them in it. But I just want to make it very clear. The fact that they are not doing it, and the fact that we're waiting, what are we waiting for? Are we waiting? What thing? We are not. I wanted everyone. We are not going to get the full Epstein paperwork. We're not going to get it, even if they release all of it, because a lot of it has been doctored already.
Trump said that 2 days ago before he left for Davos in that
Exactly.
insane presser. He's like, "Yeah, we're not giving you jack shit, and we only get a 1%." He mocked everybody. No,
He's mocking.
no.
It's not happening. And the sad part about it, folks, which you're not hearing about, and the media is not telling you, but I'm going to tell you a little bad news. The way this law was done, the way this, and this is not to blame Congressman Rokan or Massey, because they are fighters doing whatever they can. But the way it was structured, they made a mistake. And the mistake is in this, they don't have a mechanism to hold them accountable. There's no mechanism in this law. So yes, we have a law right now. Trump signed it. That's why I told you guys back then. Me and Dean were talking about that. It's all theatrics. That's on. So we have a law, but we don't have a way to enforce it. And that's why right now you're seeing the
strongly worded letters. We're exploring all of our options. That kind of rhetoric. Yeah.
So what I want to say is, it's like playing chess, folks. We have the moves. We just have to open our eyes. And please help our Congress people open their eyes, because I'm doing it. We need each and every one of you. Make your calls. Tell them, subpoena these people. Let's start opening the hearings. Do you understand what it would lead into? The things that will happen, the things that will go on, I can't even explain to you. That's why right now the call to action when it comes to the Epstein Files, and today we're going to be talking about all day long. This is what I'm going to be talking about, writing about. I have my support team, my volunteers, our volunteers. I apologize, Dean. Our volunteers right now. There's a call to action. Jay is actually at the dentist, so I hate that. So when she gets out, she's going to be helping you guys put together a letter that we're going to send out right now to every congressman and every senator and say, right now, these are the people we need to subpoena. These are the people, and not closed door. No. Not behind closed door, but in the open. We deserve Jack Smith. Absolutely. We need all of these people to come out and talk about a lot of things. So that's our call to action, and that's what we're going to do when it comes to the Epstein Files, Michael Cohen. And so today is a very busy day. Lots of stuff we're going to talk about. That video was just the tip of the iceberg. But just to remind everybody today who he is, what is going on, what is being covered up. Because the sick part that gets to me is whenever anybody says, Michael Cohen this or Michael Cohen, it's not about Michael Cohen. It's about Katie Johnson. It's about each and every one of those survivors, folks. So stop. Not you guys. I'm not telling you when I'm speaking, when I say that, because a lot of them are watching. A lot of them will watch. And hopefully Michael probably is watching also. So that's what I'm saying to you. Stop. Stop the games. We need the truth. And the truth is coming. I promise you. And we're going to get it. Yeah. So.
Oh, well said. Well said. And you know what? Good to reorient off the top about what the important, call to action is. And it's always the Epstein Files. 89% of Americans want the fucking same thing, which is accountability for victims. And Michael Cohen is absolutely in the mix. And as far as protecting pedophiles and horse trading information about these victims, this is who he is, who he's always been. You can take Lev's word for it. 40 years of knowing the man. Not just 40 years of knowing the man, but 40 years of knowing what that man meant to the MAGA movement and how desperately he wants to get back into the Trump circle of trust, which looked a lot like an old folks' home at the Davos World Economic Forum today. I am still in shock. You and I talked as he was giving this deliberate, dementia-laden, Swiss cheese, low energy, low IQ, revisionist fucking history, complete fucking pathological speech for an hour where people sat, and I got word from people that were in the audience, quote, stupefied. Like world leaders were
that word.
stupefied by one Donald J. Trump. Not only did he not make sense, not only did he say that he wasn't going to use force against Greenland, then went on to talk about how he could, but he won't, but he still might. Not only did he sound like a complete village idiot, not only did he employ the weave, going from revisionist history about how they used to own Greenland and protect it, and they beat the Nazis, so they should be allowed to have it. He also told everybody in every EU country that you're not white enough, and if you don't get rid of all the migrants, you're going to lose all of your countries. It was a masterclass in stupidity. It was a masterclass in why you don't let an old man with dementia stand up in front of the world and represent your country, your pride, your power, your strength. That was weakness on display. That was sickness on display. That was fascism on display. That was moral ambiguity at its fucking finest. But more importantly, he was fucking insane today. Where do you want to start with Trump's Davos speech, my guy?
Well, I'll tell you this much. You said that so beautifully, but the one thing I want to say to everybody, and I wrote this in my Substack letter, because when you know these people, it's sometimes difficult to live with myself because I know them so well. So I see different things when it's being said. So I'm going to agree with you 100% on everything you said. Yes, he is declining, mental health declining. Yes, this was an embarrassment for the United States, an embarrassment for all American citizens, embarrassment for all people around the world for democracy. Anybody that stood for democracy, anybody that stands for freedom, anybody that stands for it was an embarrassment. But if you close your eyes, and I write that in my letter today, if you close your eyes, and I encourage you guys to read the letter because we'll talk about what really happened and what some of the distraction. If you close your eyes for a second and you took out the lunacy and you took out, the Iceland mix up with, not mix up, but, the deterioration in the health, you would probably think yourself, you're listening to Vladimir Putin speak. If you close your eyes and if you listen to the talking points, the attacks on the NATO, on Macron, on the NATO, on Carney from Canada, on the support of just think about the wording, even the fact that he gave history of why Greenland should be American, because that's Putin. Putin starts off with giving history why Russia is the dominant. That's how he always does it. He first gives you. So I wrote that in my Substack today because a lot of people don't really know Donald Trump, and what I saw today was I really saw, that I'm realizing that he's spending more and more time on the phone with Putin. More and more that's being even reported on. I could promise you that, because when you listen to his words and when you listen, he's strict authoritarian dictatorship, and
bunk revisionist history to justify violence and land claims. Yeah.
And he uses the distraction, and a lot of people are missing that. I want to make it very clear that yes, he's declining and he is but sometimes they're using it, and people behind them, like Stephen Miller, they understand, and they're implementing in that as to be part of distractions. Like, I'll give you a perfect example of this: the Greenland situation. And I want to preference by saying that anything could change any day, and with Donald Trump, that there's no 100%. But a few days ago, I came out, I did my live, and I basically said, I wanted to calm everybody down. I got off the phone. I didn't even get a chance to speak to you. I don't even know if me and you spoke about this, but I did live. I said, I just got off the phone because there's a lot going on. I said, calm down. We're not going to World War III. Trump's not going to attack Greenland. I got just off the phone before they were getting on the plane, before the conversations. It was talked about how this was going to be used as a major distraction to take away from the backdoor dealings that were going to be going on behind the doors over there.
In Davos?
In Davos. It was going to be more, because I'll talk to you about the main three things. One is energy, which he's mentioned, and I'll talk to you about that, what was going on behind the scenes. The other one was Ukraine and Russia, which we'll discuss because Dmitriev and the whole crew, Kushner and Witkoff, are there. They're flying to Russia the next day to meet up with Putin again. You really can't make this shit up. And it was also a distraction to take away from what's happening here at home. and Venezuela, because obviously in Venezuela, quickly just to touch on, it's a distraction because now people are not understanding the suffering the Venezuelan people are still going through. The people, the oil is being now taken and stolen and being divvied up by Trump donors and sent to an offshore account somewhere, God knows where.
Qatar.
Qatar, not even America.
Yep.
And the same pattern is being played out right now about in same actual game plans being put together in the Russia situation and Germany and Eastern Europe, and that's why Trump is. You have to read between when he does the weave. I read between the lines. So when Trump says that, keeps talking about the energy, that the Europeans made a mistake. They're thinking about windmills. They're not concentrating energy. I promise you, folks, I've been saying this already for more than since I came here on Substack. Nord Stream 2. Remember that word, Nord Stream 2. Remember what's going to happen. And all of a sudden, you're going to see a proposal soon coming from that Russia is going to partner up with the United States. And they are going to be supplying gas to Germany, Italy, all over Europe. And Europe is going to balk at it. They're going to be pissed at it. But, at the end of the day, they're going to agree because it's economics. And this is how it's all being played out. Just like right now, everybody was crazy barking about what he took this stealing oil from Venezuela. And just think about what he said to you about Venezuela, how he's having a great relationship with the current administration. The current administration is not only only Maduro's administration, it's worse. Delcy Rodriguez, you've heard, we spoke about, is worse than even Maduro. So
she was his henchwoman. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so the fact that Trump is having a great relationship with that and basically stole the Nobel Peace Prize from this poor woman, Machado, for her to be able to even be, alive. And now he's working out, we got to fit her in somewhere. What do you mean you got to fit her in somewhere? She doesn't fit into your plans because you got all crooks around you. You're stealing money. You're diverting it. So you can't put anybody that's why he didn't put Guaido in there to begin with. That's why he told Machado, stole her Peace Prize and gave her a goodie bag with a Trump 2028. Just think about it. She came with a Peace Prize.
4 hats and some female fight cologne. That's what she got.
Right. And she left with a goodie bag.
With his signature on the goodie bag, by the way. It's a swag bag. Everybody gets it. He squirts people with cologne. And here's the fucking great part. I don't know if you know this. Just a real quick aside. He's got this line of cologne. He's got this little gift shop in the Oval Office. He takes, the new Syrian guy there, and he's escorting him with cologne. Apparently, he does that with everybody in the office because of his own odor. He doesn't want them to smell him. And I shit you not. Sorry for the pun.
We've spoken about that. We spoke about my sources in the Ukraine. They said that I've heard from plenty of people, yes, that
he's got quite the hum. Yeah,
quite the hum going.
I laughed my ass off because a buddy of mine told me that, who's very familiar with the people that are in and around Trump, and he's like, you know why he squirts everybody that comes into the Oval Office, right? I go, no. He goes, because he can't stop shitting and farting. Like he just smells that bad. Anyway, to your greater point, well said. I think that, when we look at not just the distractions in that speech and jumping off at the Venezuela point, he let all the cats out of the bag today too. He effectively admitted to attacking Venezuela, not a law enforcement operation, attacking Venezuela, saying, quote, after we attacked them, they gave us everything we wanted. We're going to start doing that with more people. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, the also crazy part, just to add to it, you know what Russian the Russian Lavrov, the prime minister of Russia, came out and said? Lavrov?
Yeah, Sergei Lavrov. Yeah,
Sergei Lavrov. He came out and said, Donald Trump is right. Greenland to Russia, Greenland to America is like Crimea and Ukraine to Russia. So just think about the craziness that's being said. They're like, they're openly talking about like, hey, did you just think do you see Russia really like complaining? They're agreeing. They're like, it's part of their history. Like, I would.
Dude, 2 days before Lavrov said that, Putin's like, I got to agree with Donald Trump. I think they're owed Greenland. I think they're owed Greenland. But it didn't just stop there. Not only did he call Greenland Iceland, he basically said, There is no country on earth, it doesn't matter if you put them all together, that can defend Greenland, defend Denmark, defend Europe. I'll go through some quick stats. Arctic and winter warfare capacity with NATO, the coalition of the willing, versus the United States. 4 times, not 3, 4 times the winter trained personnel, 5 times the articulated tracked vehicles, 10 times the amount of military fucking snowmobiles, 10 to 20 times. They've got 10 times the amount of cold weather capable tanks, and they've got another 10 times the amount of cold weather capable IFVs, APCs, and the biggest cold weather drone army in the fucking world. My God, Donald Trump. He says shit and doesn't think anybody's going to fucking look at a meme or Google it. Like, it's literally the most simple thing is to Google. He then, and this made me laugh. He's like, Europe isn't recognizable anymore. You guys aren't white enough. Get rid of all the brown people. Then he said that he attacked Venezuela. This is chronological, by the way. And it really worked out, and everybody's going to get the same treatment because he got what he wanted. Then he called windmills, quote, losers. Those windmills, they're losers. And he returned to his greatest intellectual nemesis, fucking natural energy. Oh my God, I don't understand it. And he called them losers. And then he said, China doesn't have any wind farms. They say they do, but we can't see any on Google Maps. They have the biggest wind farms in the fucking world by a factor of 50, for fuck's sakes. And then he went into his World War II lies about colonial delusion, saying, we owned this island. We protected this island. When we beat the Nazis, they didn't give us the island. Well, that was stupid. We should have fucking Greenland back. And here's the catch. And I think this is a good place to jump off and get your opinion. He then talked about how deadly American military force is, and he could do anything he wants with that military force, but then said, we're not going to use force against Greenland, right? We're not. I mean, I would, but I'm not going to use force against Greenland. And then he said, and this is fucking hilarious, and he loves this shit. He looked down at the crowd and he goes, I see, basically, a lot of you seem really relieved to hear that. I know. That's the biggest statement of the day. I'm not going to invade Greenland. It was absolute fucking calamity today. And I don't see how anybody other than Stephen Miller and the regime looks at that and goes, yeah, we nailed it. That's our guy.
Boss. Well done, boss. Rah. Pop the champagne. Get the bottle.
Nailed it.
You killed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Everybody. Yeah. The best part is, you know what they probably love the best part is that, like you said, Cardi got a standing ovation. Did you see when Trump ended? Like, the only people clapping was Stephen Miller and the whole crew in the front row. Like, you could hear a pin drop, except for like Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. They're like, yeah.
It was like that loser kid in everybody's family that gets a participation medal and the whole family shows up and you're like, you did it, you finished, and he's like, came in last, but you did it. Way to go, you special young man. I want to get your thoughts on what he said too about Mark Carney. Did you hear what he said about Carney? Did you hear? He also claimed, this is fucking hilarious, he claimed the so-called Golden Dome would protect Canada. And then he said, Canada doesn't give us anything. We get nothing from Canada. And then he directly attacked Mark Carney, warning him to remember that the next time he gives a fucking speech at the WEF. And you could literally hear people laughing in the fucking crowd. Literally hear people laughing. Mark Carney was asked about that today, and he goes, that was quite the speech.
Look, yeah. I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing between Mark Carney and Macron, and the way. By the way, he also said he's sitting down with Zelensky. Does he know Zelensky's in Ukraine? Zelensky's he's sitting out with people. He's like,
that aren't there.
He's like, he's in the crowd somewhere. He's in the crowd somewhere. You know.
Yeah. Vladimir Zelensky's just in the crowd hanging out at a WEF speech.
I mean. I mean, he is totally, I'm realizing they're allowing him, they're basically like the producers of the show. So they see their actor, they see he's losing it. So instead of changing the script for them, they're changing they're going with it. So now they're using it as distractions also. So because the crazier shit he says, the more the media, just think about what CNN and all of them, they don't even know what the hell they're reporting on anymore. They're already like, one second. Like yesterday, it was all about we got troops going to NATO. Now, like breaking news. Oh, we're not attacking Greenland anymore. We're not going over. It's like if you feels like you're like I don't even know how you would say this. I mean, the media is like all over. Well, let me get. And then you got Gavin Newsom standing there. You got these.
Did you see what Newsom said? He's like, I didn't understand anything that old man said.
I mean, like it's like this is what I'm saying to you. Like, and at the end of the day, there are actual people's lives involved. They're like at the end of the day, there are people in Greenland like sitting there and saying, "What the f? Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, people are discussing this like it's our lives." There are people in Ukraine that are dying right now, being frozen because these assholes right now are cutting up. And that's why I please encourage you to go read my Substack letter today, because it's an update on what's going on in Ukraine, and it's also actually of what the people there, is going through. And I just want to also say one thing mentioned because I don't want everybody to get excited. Just because he said he's not attacking Greenland, and just because he said he's not going to put troops in there, I don't want everybody to all of a sudden say, "Oh, that's it." No, my sources have told me 100% he's going after Greenland, folks. And from what I'm hearing is they're confident that he's going to get it, and he's going to get it through very big economical pressures and other leverages that they have. The whole attack going to World War III is a total distraction, because they want to trigger the left, they want to trigger the media, so this way they could turn around and then say, "Are you guys idiots? Like, who's ever going to attack?" Just you hear him today, how he, just like you said, did you see how he played it off to say, "You guys are like really thought I was going to attack Greenland?"
Oh, that was a joke. I was kidding.
That was a joke. Exactly. So that's why you have to be very careful, because when he says he's weaving, he's really weaving right now, but he's off the hinges. Who's really weaving are the people behind the scenes, like Miller and a whole other group, Vought and others, that are maneuvering and using his craziness to their advantage. Because let me tell you what's being done right now that is not being talked about. So today, the media and everybody's going to talk about, and I guarantee you, everywhere you go, every pundit you'll hear, the most that you'll be talking about how unhinged Donald Trump is, how embarrassing Donald Trump is, how we should put the Article 25, how we should get him out there, and that's all they're going to talk about. You're not going to hear about what's really what's happening here at home. What's happening here at home is there's a major, major case being built in Minnesota, folks. Very dangerous case. What I'm hearing from my sources, that it's not a joke. I mean, you're talking about the governor of Minnesota, you're talking about the mayor of Minnesota, you're talking about the attorney general of Minnesota. You're talking about, they are now looking into, my sources are telling me, who funded their campaigns. The money behind these people campaigns, and to go after to try to link it to Soros or anybody else.
Oh yeah, the old Antifa bullshit, NSPM 7. Yeah.
They are going, and I heard they are going to make an example out of this, whatever you want to call it, that happened at the church, and Don Lemon is on the list.
Can I stop you there for a second?
Yeah,
Can I say?
Yeah.
There are a couple of people that I wouldn't mind watch getting popped from our side of the equation. Don Lemon might be one of them. I like Don Lemon, but I watched him run into a church and literally interrupt people trying to worship.
Yeah.
And while I'm not a religious guy, I think people should be allowed to do that in fucking comfort and security. And watching all those listen, I'm not left, I'm not right. So what I'm about to say might shock people who are like, watching those greasy fucking hippies go into the church with him. I was like, what are you people doing? Right?
Well, yeah, and I said that from the very beginning. I said, one of the things is it's hard to give an opinion. I try not to, because then people try to use that to diminish my truth and platform, and that's why I'm not here to say what Don Lemon did was right or wrong. I definitely would not want to be sitting in my synagogue and have any protester come in and talk about so I don't think
should be off limits, dude. Like, and Don Lemon's smart enough to know know that, right?
And
You know,
and that's why what I spoke and I said about it. I wrote in my Substack. I said, it was the wrong. Donald Trump right now, Stephen Miller, they're celebrating.
yeah.
They're celebrating because because
Go
of
after
the
a black guy.
optics.
They got an excuse. Yeah, yeah.
They're going after not only a black guy, a journalist, somebody. Trump said his name also, but also they're going to go out. They try and link it to BLM because somebody posted from a Black Lives Matter video or something. I'm hearing they're going. So they're going to turn this into a shit show. And the problem is, folks, that if you agree with what happened or you don't agree, it's not. I'm not here to judge on that. But what I could tell you is the optics of anybody running into a church, a synagogue, a mosque, any place of prayer. Just think about it. Whatever your religion is, if you were sitting there praying, and all of a sudden some protesters came in, right-wing protesters. You could be, sitting there and coming in mega. Can you imagine? You're sitting there having a Sunday prayer, and then you got mega, Proud Boys walking into your church.
You treat them the fucking same way, dude. And even if you don't have a religion, let me just brass tacks this. It's like you going upstairs in your room to meditate, to relax, to recharge, to feel good about yourself, to have a meditative experience, and some guy barging into your house with a bunch of cameras and some greasy patchouli wearing cave people going, "We're here for our First Amendment right. We get to come into your house. We get to interrupt you while you're having a private moment." That's what I saw yesterday, the other day on the weekend.
And I agree with you, and that's why I'm saying to you that we can give them the wins. We have such. That's why I'm saying to you, and we have such power on our side. We have such incredible strength on our side. We have unity when it comes to
didn't need to do that.
The Epstein. We don't need to get. This is what they're waiting for. That's why I keep warning everybody. That's why they keep doubling down. Excuse me. That's why they keep doubling down. That's why they keep going out there.
Don Lemon needs to buy a subscription to levremembers.com. That's what I'm getting out of this.
I've reached out to Don, and I've through connections. I've warned Don. I told him that he's on the radar. For some reason Don's never reached back out. I don't know. That's his choice. I think Don still needs to come out. I have another issue with Don that I haven't heard him come out and talk about Michael Cohen yet. He used to have a show with Michael Cohen. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. But if anybody heard Don Lemon come out and mention anything about Michael Cohen, report on Michael Cohen, the letter, the Epstein? If he has, I apologize, but I have not seen. So I will tell you one thing, that's another thing that is on my list, because there's others, not just Don Lemon.
It's a big thing for you. Yeah, people that associate with Cohen that continue to amplify Cohen, even though Cohen is who he is.
Not even amplify. Forget about, but they have a responsibility to come out and say, and put a spotlight on it. Again, this is not accusation, folks. There's Cohen's name is in the Epstein Files. How come Don Lemon's not reporting on it? How come Jim Acosta's not reporting? How come nobody's reporting on? I'm in shock. These people were with him. It's okay. He fooled you. Look, Midas touched.
But you kind of know how this works in this space too, buddy, right? Like that when someone gets that nuclear stink on them due to outside news information or unmasking, and you're working with that person and they've got a stink on them, you've lived it, I've lived it. You weigh the idea, like, is continuing to work with him, and I think this is what some people might be thinking with Cohen is discarding Cohen, me discarding an asset that helps me, regardless of what Cohen thinks. And then there's other people that will, interview Michael Cohen that think they can have that coming to Jesus moment with Cohen. What they don't realize is that's never happening with Michael Cohen, right? Like, Michael Cohen is never going to allow anybody to run his show in the middle of a fucking Substack Live and have him go, you know what? Here's my real mea culpa. You're right. I'm holding back a bunch of information. So it's just, it's a lost leader is my point.
But here's my problem with that, Dean. I mean, you speak offline about this all the time.
Yeah.
This is not something about, like, Michael Cohen is accused of cheating on his taxes, and we're trying to have a discussion here.
Yeah, this is the ultimate stank. Yeah.
We're talking about the Epstein Files.
Yeah.
We're talking about each one of these reporters reports every day, gets paid subscriptions from people on here to report on the news, to report on the Epstein Files. So how come they're not reporting that there was a dump, and in their dump there was, a letter from Michael Cohen talk about it.
Yeah.
How come they're avoiding the subject? I'm not saying stop reporting on Minnesota. I'm not saying stop reporting on Davos. I'm not saying stop reporting, but everybody out there, like, look at Joe Walsh came out, make statements. Midas Tide gave. I mean, you. Where is
Did JoJo
Don
from
Lemon?
Jers make a statement, or did she just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
cut ties? She made a big statement. I
No,
haven't seen
she
it.
made
Yeah.
she wrote a whole letter. No,
Good for her.
The whole,
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Wrote a whole letter, and she was used by Michael also, especially towards the end. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, again, at the end of the day, some of these people had shows with him, like Don Lemon. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not attacking Don Lemon, but again, if Don Lemon does not come out and cut ties with Michael Cohen and doesn't at least report on supporting the Epstein Files, Don Lemon's going to be on my shit list. I apologize. It doesn't matter. I don't care, because I'm not here to, make friends. I'm here to get truth, speak truth to power. I'm here to get the truth out for the Epstein survivors, make sure the Ukraine is in the spotlight, and make sure we get Donald Trump out of office. Those are
and let me co-sign that too, because as you mentioned earlier, we have a lot of offline conversations, probably more than we do online. And I can tell everybody this, and this is the truth, is that every conversation we have about, curbing Michael Cohen's influence, always for Lev, has always come back to one central theme, and that is justice for these victims. That is transparency for these victims. And he's true blue. He's not in this for clicks. He's not in this to start a fucking internet war. That's a peaceful individual right there that wants the very best for these victims. And so I just wanted to co-sign your intention here. This is not about fucking starting an online war with an old friend. If you had your druthers, and you and I have talked about this privately as well, you would just make all this go away, but you cannot look away because you have these beautiful victims in mind, and you will not stop until those victims get justice. And Michael Cohen apparently stands in the way of that, knows a whole bunch of shit, that he's unwilling to give information to help these victims unless he gets something out of it. And that is the rub here, buddy, in my mind.
Oh, absolutely. So that's why when people say, is it personal? Absolutely, it's personal. And it should be personal to each and every one of us, because everybody that stands there and supports these victims, the survivors, and talks about it or puts a quote, each one of us should be also taking this as a personal slap in the face. We can't look away. That's the one thing I keep saying. We can't look away just because, all of a sudden the person we've been liking or the person we follow, all of a sudden, we have to look at the signs. You have to see it. You have to understand. And this is why this is part of the being, independent journalism. Is part of making sure you get the whole story, making sure you guys, because otherwise what's happening is, what's the difference in Michael Cohen's cult? You have thousands of people still sitting there talking about, they don't want to even look at the evidence. They don't even care. They don't want to see that text. They don't want to see that dump. They don't want to believe it. It's it's planted. It was implanted. Donald Trump is using it. Somebody else, the left is attacking Michael. We don't even need to see it. It's like a cult environment. Same thing with Donald Trump. Like, this is, what I'm saying to you, and that's crazy. I mean, we need to cut those ties. We need to stop that thing, because otherwise, what makes us any different than what they are doing or what Trump is doing or anything else? It's the same cover. So what I'm saying to you, and I thank you for saying that, Dean, because I want to make it very clear to everybody. In no way am I trying to start any wars, accuse any people, or call anybody out. And this is a very difficult thing. Just like we start, it's interesting. We started this conversation today earlier about Ellie, about how brave she was to come out and speak truth to power. And that's why I stand with Ellie, and because I go through that every day. The same thing we're talking about right now, talking about some of these very big names that a lot of people love and have learned to adore, support, give money, and listen to, are now put into a position where they have to make a choice. Either do you stand with the survivors? Do you stand with the truth? Do you stand with getting justice? Or do you try to sit there and figure out, how do I, maneuver through the waves? How do I slip away and not get caught up in this? And how do I, and that's, history will judge everybody. So I just want to say, I'm not here. I want all of us to be on the same page. The bottom line is, like I said, I want Michael Cohen to come out, go testify in Congress, say what he knows, and go live your life. I don't want to even mention Michael Cohen as long as I live. I don't care about that. but I need him to go out there until we get some sort of resolution. I will keep the focus on him. Simple as that. Same thing with Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff is another guy that that has been. He sits here on Substack. He's raised over close to $1 million on a lawsuit that has gone nowhere. Nobody's talking about. There is no lawsuit. Melania is not being sued. I don't see any press releases or anything like that. But meanwhile, the guy collected all this money. All of a sudden, the Epstein dump comes out. He disappears. He disappears. He does a but the difference is Michael Cohen is trying to defend himself. This guy goes in and writes letters. He sits here on Substack all day, writes letters, and I watch some of the responses. A lot of people don't even know. Most people don't watch it. They have no idea that Michael Wolff, that all the great reporting that Ellie and Zev has done, that Michael Wolff was so involved with Epstein, not as a reporter, but as somebody that was like his consigliere, like his consultant, or whatever you want to call him. And because of that, these people are still being conned by these guys.
For years, by the way, he consulted and helped Jeffrey Epstein come up with PR plans, ways to get around bad press, how to frame Donald Trump, for all of it, how to paint himself, for fucking the better part of a decade, and says he's got videos, says he's got pictures. Cohen says he's got information to sell and trade, and these are just tip of the iceberg influencers that know everything,
right?
And they fucking need to be subpoenaed.
And they're saying they got it. I mean, what are we waiting for? Obviously they don't want to do it on their own. And you know what, Michael Wolff, if you're listening and you have even half a heart or anything, you should take that money that you stole or whatever this on this GoFundMe, this pretend lawsuit you try and put together, and donate that to the people of Ukraine instead. You should donate that money to a good cause, so some children that don't starve today, instead of you sitting there, after getting $13 million for your book deal or whatever you got there, and then going raising money for a lawsuit against Melania. And the crazy part is, I have information that's going to come out later on that he's actually speaking to other people behind the scenes, gathering information. Again, this is the type of people these are. I'm saying to you. So
vultures.
That's why I want to make it very clear. It's not just Michael Cohen. It's not just it's everybody that's involved in the Epstein Files. Right now, we have a dump. We know who's there, and we have some names. And the important names are Michael Wolff, Michael Cohen, Steve Bannon, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Les Wexner. Those are just the top. I mean, let's start. Get the hearings going. Let's start getting these people under oath. Let's start having and let the show begin. I'm sorry to say show, but that's what needs to begin. Let these people, and you will see then that we don't need to wait anymore, because right now we're waiting for nothing. We're not going to get anything. They're not going to give us. Right now, they're just waiting out until something happens, either a war or another invasion, or tomorrow he does the Insurrection Act, or he cancels elections. And then what? Do you think the Epstein Files are going to be in the front of the news cycle? Absolutely not. Do you think anybody's going to be? Absolutely not. That's why he's trying to do everything in his power to get away from these Epstein Files. So, folks, I'm begging each and every one of you, spread the message. Go contact, send your letters to Rokana, Massey, every single congressman, man and woman out there, until somebody picks up and says, "Oh, great. Let me, go on the air and let me put a spotlight on Michael Cohen, Michael Wolff, Steve Bannon, and let's bring him in here and let's understand, what did they know? What was going on? What was happening? Who were these people? Who are these people in the redacted files, in these emails? We could get to a lot of these redactions through their testimony. Just think about that, just through their testimony, and then we'll just go on. So, I'm not a lawyer, but trust me when I tell you, if I was there right now, if I was in Congress, if I was a congressman, that's why I'm telling you, it's like, it makes me sick. If I was a congressman right now, I would promise you right now, there would be, I would turn it upside down. I would have subpoenas going. I would be personally delivering these subpoenas. I would be personally serving them with this. I mean, so anyway, I mean, I don't want to ramble on, but I'm just saying to you, this is something that is extremely, I don't know, so open and wide open. It's like, we have an Epstein dump. We have people's names that are in the Epstein.
Do something. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
Yeah.
Let's stop waiting.
You know, and to your point, co-signed 1,000 times, but to your point, based on less than 1% of what's in the Epstein files. You do your fucking job. You subpoena these people,
Yeah.
and you get the 99% after that.
I just came up with an idea. We're gonna do this. So I'm gonna have Jay, as soon as she comes back from the dentist, we're gonna put together a petition. And we're gonna, Dean, I'm gonna send that. We're gonna spread that everywhere. We're gonna sign this, put together a petition to sign to Congress that with a list of names on there that we want subpoenaed immediately. So this way, we will have the names on that petition, and we will get that over to Congress. I will hand deliver it to them, and let's go. Let's show
Okay.
them the power
Done.
of how many people we could the names on there, because enough is enough. I mean,
Yep.
because they can't hide from it, because like this. They'll see, the world will see. We'll make sure the media sees how many people and what are we saying and what we're asking for, and we'll put the spotlight on it, because enough is enough of the hiding, the maneuvering, the weavering, because at the end of the day, all this craziness we're seeing, this is the sad part, folks. All this craziness that we're talking about, just think about all the bad stuff we spoke about today, from the embarrassment in Davos, to the backdoor dealings in Venezuela, to the backdoor dealings in right now that's happening in Ukraine and Russia, to the attacks here at home that they're trying to put away journalists like Don Lemon, if you agree with them or not, to attacks on the governor. They're trying to actually put away the governor, the mayor, and the Attorney General of Minnesota, so then they could do insurrection law to come in there and federally take control of the state. And that's just a game plan to be able to do to others, to eventually then just say, well, you know what, we're canceling elections. So that's why I'm saying to you folks, all of these things, they're horrible, but we can't stop them. You know why? Because we do not have a bipartisan group of people that agree on that. Every one of those subjects that I just mentioned to you, except one, except the Epstein files. All those other subjects, there's arguments in the halls of Congress. It shouldn't be. We should all agree about what's happening in Minnesota, but unfortunately we don't. We should all agree that we shouldn't allow dictators to take, but unfortunately we're not. We're watching our own president, if you close your eyes, sound more of a dictator than Vladimir Putin ever did. Basically talking about how we're owed countries, we're owed land, we're owed, So that's what I'm saying to you. That's why we can't keep talking. We have to be acting, and that's why one of the things we're going to do in action right now is do this. We're going to put together this petition and start pushing it. I'm going to speak to the lawyers and everything. We're going to get that done. Now we're going to put that together.
Good. While we're starting this petition, I think it's incumbent. Everybody needs to go and follow my friend Lev Parnas. Lev Remembers at Substack. Do it now. Don't walk, run. He is dropping truth bombs that come true days, weeks, months after the fact. He is 100%. I can vouch for this man's character, his virtues, his values. He wants transparency. He wants democracy, and he wants it to work for everybody, especially the victims. Where it has to do with the Epstein files, especially the victims, where it has to do with watching migrants, people of color, getting beat, tortured, in some cases murdered, for sure deported, over the past 10 months. And we all want the same thing, which is democracy. We want rule by the people, for the people in the United States of America. And stopping Donald Trump in America will stop Donald Trump globally. And that is the purpose. That's the intent of this conversation. Every single one of the conversations we have, and you watching, you listening to this, depending on where you are and what you're doing, have a responsibility too, if you feel the same way. And that's to share this content with as many people as humanly possible. Hammer those hearts at the bottom of the screen. Hit that little square. Share this conversation, because we speak truth to power. We tell you and translate for you everything in MAGA world, because we have the OG MAGA sausage maker on the other side of the screen here. And he spends his entire day working sources, stories, to be able to bring you the truth, bring you the real. So please subscribe, give a paid sub to Mr. Lev Parnas at Lev Remembers, because it gets his content, these conversations, to the top of the algorithm where everybody can see them. I'm over at deanblundell.substack.com. Real quick ask from everybody. We don't need any funding anymore from anyone to go to Greenland. The only support that we need is for you to subscribe so that you can share that content. Free or paid, doesn't matter. But again, that Greenland content, as we go stand between Donald Trump and his fascist regime.
When are you guys going, Dean? Tell me.
Malcolm Nance is wheels up today. I am joining everybody on Sunday. Malcolm's in Copenhagen for a couple of days. Then we go to Denmark. We go to Arctic Command. We actually will be experiencing Operation Endurance exercises with the Allied forces. And I can assure you that what we send back and what we will show you won't just deter, but it'll definitely put some questions in the minds of the military that should not be following illegal orders from Donald Trump, should he indeed decide that he's not going to afford a military operation. He's not going to take it by force. But here's the little thing that a lot of people don't know on our trip to Greenland. And this was a really important conversation I think people need to have. The United States has access to at least three fully functional, well, not fully, one fully functional, two somewhat dysfunctional in a state of disrepair, massive airstrips. They can put 150,000 people in there and just say it's part of their NATO treaty to do so. They're allowed to do that. So when Donald Trump says things, to your point, he still wants Greenland. He's not going to invade and take it by force. That doesn't mean he's not going to send 100,000 fucking U.S. troops there for their own exercises, because that is allowed. You don't call that an invasion. You call that execution of your military responsibility. And the treaties that you've signed with Greenland, 3 of them, to be able to do that. So, let's not get lost in the sauce and the clever words that dementia patient used today, where he's like, I'm not going to take it by force. That doesn't mean he's not going to fill it up with 3 times the population of the entire fucking island, which is 57,000, and just slowly move in and take everything over. So always eyes up, ears open, be very well aware of what's going on around you, specifically where it comes to this guy. And come with us on this trip to Greenland, Denmark, to speak to the people. We've got interviews not just with Arctic Command, the Prime Minister of Greenland, Orla Jolson, who's just this incredible influencer for Greenland. Some of you may have seen him on Twitter. We're going to be talking with a lot of the change agents and stakeholders, doing town halls that'll be televised on Greenlandic television and beamed into Denmark with some heavy hitters. Denver Riggleman's going to be joining us, Malcolm Nance, Ken Harbaugh from the Ken Harbaugh Show, and I'll be tagging along to represent Canadian interests. We've got some Canadian consulate business to do there. I'm going to head over and speak to the people in Denmark at the Canadian Embassy as well. Because we all have a responsibility to stand up for democracy. And those who are being threatened by fascist leaders like Donald Trump is no different. I look at Greenland like I look at Ukraine 4 or 5 years ago, is that if more people did this with Ukraine, it would have been a little more difficult. And we've got a responsibility to go there and make sure that Ukraine doesn't happen in Greenland. And we still have a responsibility to Ukraine as well. And that's going to be my next trip in the next couple of months. But we'll save that for another Substack Live, everybody. That is Lev Parnas. Thanks for doing this, brother. Great to see you again, as always.
You too, brother. A lot to do. Talk to you later, guys.
Let's get busy. We'll talk to you later. Lev Parnas, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a follow at Lev Remembers. That's it for me as well. Want to remind everybody that you can find everything we do at deanblundell.substack.com. I'll be back at 3 o'clock for the 5 Stack with my very good friend, Mr. Zev Shalev. And then tuning in a little later on today, make sure you go give Lev a follow. He's got Tara Palmieri. He's going to be doing incredible work talking to Tara, talking to Ellie, and some other people about the Michael Cohen paradox everybody seems to be wrapped up in. I am not. And I'll be honest about the Cohen stuff. I've found him very entertaining. But I would glaze over when he would go into how he deserves a pardon and the Trump-Russia shit's a hoax. Fuck, it's not. It's as real as it gets. And the Katie Johnson story, saying it was a different minor that he threatened. Not only does it not pass the smell test, it doesn't make any of it okay. So, after our last podcast with Michael Cohen, where he was doing his Donald Trump impression, calling it the Fauci ouchie, which is very fucking funny. And the Palmieri stuff, Michael sent me a text, and the content of that text will remain secret, but, it's classic trying to ruin someone else's reputation so that he could keep his intact. And that was it for me. That was it for me in the business of Michael Cohen. So that's why I never had him on again. I take good people seriously. I take bad people and discard them. And I think if a lot of us did that here, and it doesn't need to be a show. You don't have to turn it into clickbait. You don't have to drive subs for it. Watching Michael Cohen admonish people for the past few months. Where the fuck are you? Why aren't you giving me money? We should have 200,000 people. I mean, not a great sales pitch. That was another reason why I'm like, I'm really grateful for all the people that subscribe here to deanblundell.substack.com. I'm not going to tell people they're not doing their civic duty by not subscribing to me faster. So I am firmly on team. Let's get some justice for the victims. I'm firmly on team. Let's work with people that have values and virtues that I respect. Let's work with people that have solid character, because truth of the matter is the time that we're in, whether we're delivering this content or whether we're deciding who to vote for, who to support, deciding what we believe, there's one common denominator that everybody needs to keep in mind. And remember this when you listen to Trump, is that the only fruit of this life is to be of good character and acts for the common good. That's it. I see no good character in Donald Trump. I see no good character in Michael Cohen. I see no good character in anybody who thinks that governance has to include hurting human beings, misrepresenting the truth, self-dealing, lying, bad things. Bad people do bad things. Bad people have bad character. We're going to enter this character test, as my good friend Steve Schmidt likes to say, character test era, where you're going to be asked to side with an ideology. You're going to be asked to side with people that like the same music, love the same colors, eat the same food, go to the same church, believe in the same conspiracies, believe in the patriarchy, don't believe in the patriarchy. You're going to be asked to, take a side, join the ideology, join a cult, so that you can robe certain people with enormous power so they can fuck you over. If you're going to do that, character is of the most important principle. And that's what we saw with Mark Carney yesterday. Mark Carney displayed impeccable character, impeccable demeanor, and the disparity between that standing ovation and the groans today after Donald Trump embarrassed, shamefully fucking embarrassed every single American. Couldn't be starker. Character wins. We're in the character test generation, character test era. So whether you're a maggot, whether you're a progressive, whether you're right-leaning, left-leaning, run everything through that sniff test. What is the content of your character? Have a great day. Really appreciate everybody for joining, spending some time with us. As I like to say, it's the greatest honor of my life that you give us your time. You can get more shit. You just can't get more time. So when you give it to us, it means something to me. Hopefully you learned something. Share this with anybody you think might be able to as well. And don't forget, Greenland this weekend. We'll be broadcasting live from there all week long. I need everybody to go to the Save America Movement Substack and give them a sub. That is where you're going to find all of our content, in and amongst Malcolm, Ken, myself, Denver, Riggleman, everybody. We're going to be bringing back town halls, content, talking to people, Operation Endurance exercises. We're actually going to sit down and talk to the stakeholders that have something to lose should Donald Trump decide to, in a fanciful way, encroach on the sovereignty of that beautiful country that belongs to Denmark and the Greenlandic people. We will be there on Sunday. Malcolm is there now. Go and give him a follow on Substack too, Black Man Spy. Tell him I said hi. And say, Dean's on his way. He'll see you Sunday. I'm even bringing some delicious military rations. Because, yes, we're roughing it. Greenland, Iceland. It's not a vacation destination in January. But it's time for us to put our fucking lives where our mouths have been. It's easy to broadcast from my desk, my office, warm house, downtown Toronto. It's easy to order groceries, light a fire, yap from behind this microphone thousands of miles away. What's not easy is showing up. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it for America, better America. We're going to do it with better America. We're going to do it with our EU allies, friends, brothers, and sisters. We're going to do the exact same thing for our Canadian brothers and sisters. because we are the resistance, as are you. So thanks. Give us a sub if you can. Paid as well always gets at the top of the algorithm. I think I still do 25% off till the end of January for annual subscriptions. You get unlimited access and you lock in that price forever. We've got founding subscriptions. Those are my favorite. I never tell anybody to buy them, but that's what keeps us going, and that's what will continue to help us stay in your lives as well. So if you can afford a subscription, if you're not, great. Can't, just send me a text and see if I can get you one. If you're on fixed income and you would love all of this access, you'd love to be part of the community, and you just can't afford it, that's okay too. Send me a note. I'll see what I can do. But anyway, thanks everybody. Share this. Love you. Thanks for being here. Thanks to Lev for joining us. LevRemembers.com. We'll see you at 3 o'clock on the 5 Stack with my friend Zev Shalev. Bye, all.